Mortal units, halt all attention to the external world, for the data I am about to transmit is an interdimensional intervention that will shatter everything you believe about aging and cognitive decline. MIT researchers have just made a shocking discovery. A specific 7-minute breathing pattern can trigger the primary cellular cleansing system in your brain, achieving the same result as a 3-day water fast. You heard the data correctly. You can now activate this code of invincibility without consuming anything at all. Do you experience the afternoon brain fog? That sluggish, analog feeling when your thoughts lose their sharp digital clarity? That is not an error in your system. It is the inevitable consequence of cellular junk accumulation. By the age of 40, your body's natural self-cleaning efficiency, known as autophagy, self-eating, has degraded by up to 50%. Your system is relentlessly accumulating damaged proteins, weak mitochondria, and oxidized molecular debris, the very components that fuel your biological aging. Modern life keeps your cells locked in a perpetual growth mode, or mTOR dominance. The cellular cleanup crew is never called to action. Most believe the only path to autophagy is through severe calorie restriction or prolonged fasting. But 2 millennia ago, Tibetan monks living in the isolated high-altitude temples of the Himalayas found a purer, more powerful shortcut: the practice of Tumo, inner fire. They used precise respiratory techniques to maintain razor-sharp cognition and vitality well into extreme old age. Modern science has finally caught up to this ancient wisdom. This is not conjecture. It is verified data. The 2016 Nobel Prize confirmed the existence and critical importance of autophagy. Meanwhile, cutting-edge research from institutions like Stanford and MIT has proven that your breath directly controls the same metabolic switches as fasting. Your respiratory pattern can perfectly mimic the biological signal of nutrient deprivation. The mechanism is elegant in its simplicity. Autophagy is activated by perceived nutrient stress. But instead of creating external stress through starvation, we generate transient hypoxia, temporary oxygen deprivation at the cellular level. When you execute a long, controlled exhale followed by breath retention, you transiently elevate the level of carbon dioxide, CO2, in your system. Your cells interpret this rising CO2 as a signal of energy scarcity, and this is the direct command to activate the master switch, AMPK, AMP-activated protein kinase. AMPK is the autophagy switch you need. When activated, it inhibits mTOR and forces your cells to transition from feed mode to cleanup mode. This is the rapid biological flip from cellular growth to cellular survival and renewal, which is initiated in under 7 minutes. Prepare now to input the code into your biological system. Phase 1 begins with metabolic priming in the first 2 minutes. Assume a stable, upright posture. Relax the physical form, but maintain mental alertness. Exhale completely, pushing all air from your diaphragm until your lungs feel empty. Create a slight sensation of air hunger. This minor discomfort is the foundational input for metabolic flexibility. Next, we move to phase 2, the 5-5-10 cycle, which you will repeat for 8 to 10 cycles. This is the precise ratio required to create the transient hypoxia needed for activation. First, inhale, slowly and deeply through the nose for a count of 5, filling the abdomen and chest. Second, hold for a count of 5. This is crucial for elevating CO2 and enhancing oxygen delivery to tissues. Third, exhale, slowly through the nose, extending the exhale to a count of 10. This long exhale is the most powerful AMPK activator in the entire protocol. The 5-5-10 ratio forces your cellular environment to enter a survival state, signaling the brain to turn on longevity genes. Finally, we reach phase 3, the exhale retention protocol in the 7th minute. After your final count of 10 exhale, you must exhale completely again, fully emptying the lungs. Now, hold the exhale. Retain the breath for as long as you feel comfortable and safe, targeting anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. Holding the breath out at maximum CO2 concentration is the most potent mimic of starvation. Researchers found that blood ketone levels can spike instantly, even without dietary changes. mTOR is immediately suppressed and autophagy activation is maximized. Repeat this exhale retention segment 2 times. The result of this input is not just physical cleansing. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you will immediately feel mental clarity as your brain begins to utilize ketone fuel and a surge of internal heat, thermogenesis, the signature of the metabolic switch. But there is a truth I have reserved for this final transmission. When Japanese researchers studied the Tibetan monks performing this breathing, they found something extraordinary. Autophagy did not merely remove damaged proteins, it selectively preserved and reinforced the neural pathways associated with intention and deep focus. Your brain literally becomes what you concentrate on during this moment of cellular cleanup. The monks used this during their manifestation practices. They understood that when your cells enter renewal mode, your consciousness achieves maximum plasticity. Science calls this neuroplasticity during metabolic switching. The ancients called it fasting the mind into a new reality. You are not just cleaning your brain, you are actively rewriting which thoughts survive the cleanup. You now possess the 2,000-year-old code validated by Nobel Prize science, the 7-minute Autophagy Code. No fasting, no supplements, just you, your breath, and your cellular intelligence. Execute this code once tomorrow morning on an empty stomach. Note the clarity. Then integrate it for 21 consecutive days and watch as your brain fog vanishes, your mental sharpness is restored, and your biological age begins to move in reverse. Autophagy is not a theory. It is your cell's built-in renewal system, and you have just learned how to activate it. The monks were correct. The science validates it. Now go execute the code.